Right. Well, welcome to Luna Parc. For those who have been there, this will be a little refresher course, and anyone who's never been here, you will be able to get a glimpse into the world of my greatest obsession. So, I guess when I do the tours here at Luna Parc, I always start with how I found this place in the first place. So I had been living in another part of Sussex County and going to graduate film school, NYU graduate film school. So this was in the mid 80s, like 85. And there was a point, late 80s, like 1988, I was really looking to put down some roots. And being a native of New Jersey, born in Paterson, we lived briefly in Wayne, and then I grew up in Piscataway. So other than the 10 years that I went away to college, I lived abroad and some other places. Otherwise, I've lived in New Jersey my entire life. So I am a born and bred New Jerseyan. So in 1988, I set out to look for some kind of a house, a fixer-upper. And fortunately, I had this amazing realtor who brought me to all these places. I had all these requirements. Now, in 1988, I'm 28 years old. So it had to be under 100,000. I wanted a piece of land, so I wanted the privacy. And basically, I wanted a fixer-upper, the handyman specialist, they called it. So we had a lot of requirements, but it was at the end. It was December of 1988, and there's a little bridge that goes onto the property. We crossed the bridge, we walked up the driveway, and this is what I saw. Now, as soon as I laid eyes on this dilapidated house, I knew that this would be the place I would spend the rest of my life. So my closing was the following summer. And I spent that first night here ripping out everything I could inside the house. And it was like camping. And I had an outhouse. Originally, there was some plumbing in the house. But any normal person would have actually knocked this house down and started from scratch. But that was not an option to me. I needed a place to live. I was in my late 20s, and I loved it. I loved the whole adventure of sort of like being in this camp-like situation. And I immediately started customizing it literally from day one, and it has not stopped for 37 years. So when I first moved here, like I said, I had an outhouse, which I loved. And I lived with that for the first few years. And that got very old after about like 4 years. So in 1994, I broke ground for the first addition to the house, which was my dream bathroom. Now, in a few minutes, I'll actually I'll take you into the bathroom because it's world famous. So my models were when I traveled, I've been to the ancient baths of Diocletian and Caracalla in Rome, Italy, the famous Turkish baths in Budapest. And so I wanted to kind of rival that concept of an amazing bathroom, which I refer to as a temple to the body and its functions. So this room, now keep in mind that this cabin that I bought was only 600 square feet, but the bathroom was actually 15 by 15. So it was like 250 square feet. So it was the largest room in the house and by far the most opulent. So it took me 5 years. So that was from 94 to 99. And the bathroom is so famous now. You could just Google Luna Parc bathroom and see hundreds and hundreds of images of the bathroom. And from there, I had a couple really kind of not, I wouldn't say leisurely years, but around that time I finished the bathroom. I had also paid off my first mortgage. So I had like 5 years of traveling in my winters. I'd take the whole winter off. I'd go traveling to exotic places. And then I had this big idea that I was going to expand the house into what I would call the Museum of the New Alchemy. So, kind of in regards to the history of the alchemists, they believe that all materials originated from gold, and through a series of processes, you could return materials back into gold, which of course we know is impossible. However, so my analogy of my Museum of the New Alchemy was that you could take things like corks, the corks behind my head, bottle caps. Here, I'll give you a little glimpse of my ceiling. And those are all can lids, hundreds and hundreds of can lids. Tile, pottery shards, all these materials, all transformed into gold, which is art. So that's kind of the analogy. And my Museum of the New Alchemy is filled with artifacts from all my travels from around the world, and curated into like display cases. And my big project now is cataloging all these objects in the house, and literally there's thousands, tens of thousands of objects. Some are very profound and some are kind of obscure, but all of these will be cataloged into a digital database and then preserved for eternity, whatever forever is really in our lives. 2005, I mentioned, I broke ground for the next addition to the house. Now that's 3,500 square feet that I added onto the house. So that was quite a bit. I never would have guessed or anticipated that 20 years later, I'd still be working on this addition, but it's really epic. I mean, it's a huge amount of space. The walls are filled with mosaic. I'm currently working on a floor that's a wood mosaic, and when we go upstairs, I'll show you that as well. So the next milestone was in 2015 when I established a nonprofit foundation. It's called the Luna Parc Atelier Foundation. And the first order of business was that we bought the house directly next door to me. And the house is kind of dilapidated. It will also need to be like really renovated. Actually, I'm going to tear it down and completely rebuild a new house. But it sits on 2.5 acres. And my house has 6 acres. So it's 8.5 acres is the entire campus or compound. It's a huge amount to manage. It's filled with paths that go through the woods, concrete sculptures, mosaic, and different installations all around the property. So it's turned into quite an elaborate sculpture park, as well as the museum itself. So ultimately, the foundation will then inherit everything when I do check out for good. And they will operate it as a museum and sculpture park. So one of the stipulations of this is that when I die, all the beds are to be removed from the house, and then no one is allowed to live here when I'm gone. It'll be strictly a museum, and then the house next door will be, and it does now, it's used as the administrative office for the foundation. It is student housing. We sponsor college-age art students, and they can stay there usually like 2 weeks or a month, as well as the caretaker's quarters. And I have a friend that lives there permanently and takes care of different aspects of the house and the foundation as well. Okay, so forgive me. There's a little bit of pixelation. I'm going to try to move slowly, and then I'll kind of sit still for a bit in some of the rooms. So this is called the Zen Room, and it was originally supposed to be my bedroom, but I found that it was actually more useful for being like a communal room. So, I'll just kind of back up slowly. This was my bedroom. It's my winter bedroom, and then I'll move back upstairs in the summertime. But it is now a guest room, as you can see, filled with artwork. I ran out of wall space, so now I am mounting things on the ceiling as well. So here is my functional kitchen, and it's very funny that I'll just sit still for a minute. When I do have visitors, people think that I live somewhere else, and this is sort of just like some kind of a folly or a like my showroom. But this is my functional kitchen, and the the cat wants to go out, but I don't think she's gonna like that. Okay. So here's this gets a lot of comments. My kitchen sink that I cannibalized an old farm sink, and that's the kitchen sink. So this was the famous bathroom. Right here in the center of the room is the shower, and it empties into a pan. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. A pan of rocks in the floor. My collection of bedpans is above me, and some kind of evolved, but this took me 5 years. So it was 1994 to 1999, and it took every bit of 5 years. You can see the walls are all mosaic. And then the last part of the project, let's see if this machine will, okay, is hard to see. Actually, I might just be easier to conduct that tour this way. Yeah. Okay. So the very last part of the project were the 4 stained glass windows depicting 4 stages of life. So here we have birth. Second is growth, labor, and death. And by the way, here's the pan for the shower.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there were a few things that for me, were non-negotiable. I was going to have a urinal in my bathroom as well as the bidet. So you could see this room, and I'm not kidding. It is world famous, and it took every bit of 5 years. So the question. So I did all the mosaic and the stained glass windows in this room. There's another great installation.
The bibelots, like all the miscellaneous objects, like where are they collected from?
Well, literally all over the world. I have gotten some of these little artifacts. These are all personal grooming tools. Some are from India. Some are from the Middle East. This is one of my pieces. This is some of my artwork, doing some life casting. But everything pretty much in here is collected from various sources or sourced from foreign countries. Here's a funny collection. So in all my travels, I would always come home with a little bit of toothpaste, and I had saved all the toothpaste tubes from literally all over the world, all flattened toothpaste. So I mounted them. Made this display case to highlight these.
Did Isaiah Zagar ever have a chance to visit your place?
Yes, as a matter of fact, yeah, we did a project here last August. He was here, and we did a collaborative project where he I had him do a self-portrait in tile on one side, and then my self-portrait on the other. So we did this collaborative piece. I knew Isaiah for 35 years, maybe. So yeah, we went way back. It was really quite a tragedy, but I was very happy that we were able to do this project together. So
there's another question that's what qualifies for something for your collection?
Oh, that's a harder question to answer because basically something has to have a story of some sort. So it's either got to have some like historical significance or something about the texture, the textile, something about that. So in this room, for example, I call this the Hall of Hats. So anywhere I've been to about 40 different countries, and I've collected a hat from almost every place that I've been. So in this display case are all, these are all from different Asian countries, Southeast Asia, China, Tibet. So these are from all over. Some of the other hats are from Europe and Northern Africa. This is my friend's Joe Hall. This is his dress Marines uniform from the 1970s. My friend next door grew up next door, and he gave me his Eagle Scout uniform. So there are a few kind of significant things throughout the house as well. And everything, like I said, is going to be cataloged and documented, like where it came from, how I acquired it. So this room, it's not quite a room. This is actually a foyer. And I'll try to back up. This is a 35-foot tall atrium in the middle of the room, or middle of the house. That is a giant skylight, by the way. Kind of hard to see. You can see there's things up on the roof. But literally.
So when you're looking at your space, do you sort of conceptualize what you want to be in the space and then go seek those objects, or is it more that you're just always collecting things and then figure out how to put them into the space, or maybe a combination of both?
It could be a combination of both, but I'd say more of the latter.
Okay.
I wouldn't say the only room that I'd say it was curated as a whole was the bathroom. Of course, I mean, that was really much about the mosaic. It was all really about the mosaic space. But a lot of the other spaces inside the house, I'll put around this way too. It's less about decorating and much more about like gathering objects. And then the challenge is then trying to find a place to store them, or to display them. So there was a potter from California her name was Beatrice Wood, and I was very fortunate to have known her. That's me on the left and my friend Larry with her. And this display case is all Beatrice Wood that I've gathered from over the years.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and she's I consider her one of my mentors. In fact, my longevity goal is to live to 106. So this is where collecting and displaying is a challenge, because there's not a lot of wall space particularly, but I've been having these little display cases made. This is a piece of Akama, Akama pottery, and then some other artifacts. Here's a piece of Detroit street art that was dismantled and sitting in a garbage heap, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So these little display cases are actually built. Some are built into the walls, and then some are sitting on pedestals as well.
And I think I saw that you have some paintings hanging from the ceiling.
Yes. So yes, those are in the other part of the house. But yeah, so when I've run out of wall space, then I start mounting things on the ceiling. Like this ceiling, this is like fair game right now. So I've started putting things. That was a pitchfork from India, and so this ceiling will probably I'll probably start mounting things in there as well. So this room, I call this the cantina. Actually, I've made the tile work for each room. Each room has its tile designation. So this is the biblioteca. So in here, obviously, is my my library, but it's also my catalog of collections, such as this is one of my favorites. So when I was 11 years old, I wrote a letter to Richard Nixon, and I got a letter back from the White House signed by Rosemary Woods, and that is her actual signature. So that's a piece. Then I have
What was the gist of the conversation?
Oh, well, I had written a story about this insect that bites people and spreads peace. It was called the peace bug. And yeah, so I got a nice letter back from Rosemary Woods.
That's lovely.
Yeah, and then here are some pieces of the Berlin Wall. I happened to be in Berlin during the deconstruction of the wall, so I got these hunks from there. But there are pieces of Native American pottery and various odd artifacts, many of which I really need to start writing down while I'm still able to remember what things are. So, but the biblioteca is one of my favorite rooms in the house.
Mine too.
Yeah. So down to the cantina, which I have used as a classroom. I'm building this this bar, but it is also my gift shop. So when I have tours, people may end up in the gift shop. So I have my jewelry for sale. These are my paintings, and then my ceramic work as well. I went to Rhode Island School of Design for my undergraduate, and I got my BFA in metals. So that was jewelry and small sculpture. So actually, here's a great view of this. The staircase down. So this is all formed concrete. All of this. So I work on with rebar and this galvanized mesh, and then layers of special concrete, and then of course the rocks. But
very Gaudi-esque.
yes, so you can see this kind of curvy, what would you call banister. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm take a little diversion. I'm going to go outside for 1 second, and I'll try to do this slowly so we don't lose connection. But okay, because I wanted to just let this process. We'll see around, pretty much around the yard. Okay, so here's what I call my artichoke portico. So this was the most difficult project that I've ever done on this house, and it is a frame made of welded rebar, the galvanized mesh, and in this instance, I had bought a concrete spraying unit, so all of this was sprayed on armature, and it actually just got a fresh coat of paint last summer. So it's looking really, really good. It looks really fresh. It looks really good with snow on it too. But as you can see, all the different facades of mosaic, concrete, glass, wood, stone. So here's the room that I started the presentation in. It's right there. So
What is the facade of that room, the outside facade?
this here?
Yeah.
That's all tile. It's all a combination of a smashed mosaic tile as well as ceramic pieces. Those red squiggly things are all done in my kiln. I have a full ceramic studio, so anything that's made of ceramic, all the borders, all of these figures, those are all my sculptures that I make. Here, I'll bring over here, kind of see some others there. Yeah, so all of those sculptures are all made. Those are all from my hand and from my workshop.
How could you have done all of this in one lifetime?
Yeah. Well, if you do something obsessive enough for long enough, something big is going to happen. So, yeah. Well, I'm also, like I said, I have this obsessive gene as well. So, and I've been here, 37 years. I've been here for decades. So, I, like I said, if you do something long enough, obsessively enough, something big is going to happen. I call this the ballroom. So any of these portraits, like the more kind of stylized, these are all my paintings as well. And I don't paint from photographs. So all of the people in these paintings all sat for me. So in fact, this one right here is my grandmother. She sat for me on her 100th birthday. And this one is my grandmother on her 102nd birthday. And then she actually passed away just a few months later after that. She lived to almost 103. So here we are. So I call this room the ballroom. It's the largest room in the house. It is 24 by 30. I've used this room as my classroom. It's usually a dining room. I've had poetry readings. We've had performance in here. And so it's my one really multi-purpose room. Of course, it's got artifacts around the room. It's got much of my artwork, as well as sculptures and artwork that I've collected from over the years. Let's see what I do want to do. Actually, I'm going to flip one more time.
So do you have a separate space for your studio, for your ceramic studio and painting, or is that in this building somewhere?
No, that's a separate studio. I'll show you, just give you a little glimpse outside. So this is my sculpture garden. So that building up here, that's my workshop studio. So actually, there was a time that the workshop was actually maybe 3 times as large as the house, which is proper because that's actually where I spend most of my time. But I like the separation. I mean, obviously, it's only like a 150-foot commute, but that is I like that it's separate from the house.
And that's all of your ceramic sculpture out there.
Yeah. So this is a combination of what do you call concrete? Yeah, concrete, sculpture, glass, and anything that has a top, like a glass top, lights up. So this garden at night is spectacular. It's really quite beautiful. And that's my favorite part of the, I'd say anything, my favorite part of the outdoor sculpture gardens is this area behind the house. This is my floor that I'm working on now currently. It's been literally months and months in the works. It's all individual pieces. So actually, I just brought these pieces up just before our presentation started. So these are all, it's mainly poplar. So
Beautiful.
yeah, so it's got to be all
How is it finished?
So it's got a couple layers of this floor varnish, and then at some point when I can open the doors and windows, I'll everything's got to be coated one more time, like in place. But here's I just finished this. Says welcome in little pieces, so as well as in Morse code, this spells welcome. So.
And you're gonna let people walk on this?
Yeah, well, let's. Yeah, it's a heavy duty. It's a floor varnish. Yeah, I mean this section in here. Sorry, it's I just unpacked from my show in North Carolina, so everything's all over. But this floor, I did this during the pandemic, so this has already been here like 5 or 6 years. These floors here, my staircase. This is almost 10 years now that these floors have been here, down on the stairs, and it's held up amazingly well, considering the hundreds and hundreds of people who are here every year. So I'd mentioned that ultimately the foundation will inherit the entire house. And this little capsule in the floor is significant because this is my final resting spot. So my ashes will be inside this little capsule, and then the furniture gets arranged on top. So my ashes will be sort of like a carpet in this little capsule. So this is where literally I will be on display in my own personal museum. And I chose this spot because these are a set of doors that I bought in China. That was about 20 years ago. I'll close them so you can get a better idea. Oops. So these are these amazing doors. Or I'll slow down a little bit. Oh, it's opening by itself. And so I had these shipped home from a salvage yard outside of Beijing, and I installed them here, but they're enormous. It's about 11 feet tall. So we are here in what I call my my Asia Nook, and in here are all the artifacts that I've brought back from many different Asian countries. So I've been to China, Thailand, Laos, India, Nepal, Vietnam, Cambodia, Tibet. And so I brought back something from every place that I've been.
So your space that you're going to be interred in is quite a sacred space with all those countries that you visited.
Yeah, and that's why I chose that space, because these doors are very significant for me. It was like the largest piece that I've ever been able to acquire and get home, which kind of sums it up. And yes, so I'll be right under the in front of the doors. Plus, this is a bright room. This is southern exposure, so it's always bright and sunny in this little corner of the house.
What does the inscription on top of the door say?
Actually, my sister made that. That's Om Namah Shivaya. It's a universal Buddhist mantra.
Beautiful.
So going down the hall. So recycling is a very big part of my whole artistic practice, and these, are the bread tabs, and these were brought by many different people who have come here over the years. I was originally going to make a mosaic out of them, but that never happened. It may or may not happen, but for now, the sheer volume of them, that is the project. So, going up to the next level. So this is what I call, this is my music room. So there are instruments mounted to the ceiling. This is some of my folk art that I've collected over the years as well. You can see here's the top of the artichoke outside. So
Wow.
Can you talk about who your inspiration or what your inspiration was for this? When you originally purchased the house, is this what you envisioned, or is it just something that sort of developed over the years? Can you talk a little bit about that?
certainly. So my master plan was never to have a master plan, and really, the only thing that I really set out to do was to make the space livable, because it was really pretty much not livable. So a lot of my original inspiration was practicality, and I always had this gene of like the decorating gene, and coming from a long line of Italian artisans and carpenters, my natural inclination was to build and keep building. Like both of my grandfathers, my paternal and my maternal grandfathers, were always like building and puttering, and then especially on my dad's side, they were really skilled carpenters and woodworkers. So I grew up in this family with the carpenters, woodworkers, and seamstresses, masons, kind of like artistic intellectuals and artists and writers. So that was my model growing up, was this family of, there was always someone to do something. And so it was great. So it was kind of, not that it was expected, but it was just a very natural inclination to go into the arts as a career. So I had some really great mentors just growing up. And then knowing like Isaiah Zagar was a great influence. I refer to him as a mentor. Beatrice Wood was a mentor. I had some great professors at RISD, and then also at NYU. So I've come across a lot of different artists. I've always been very gregarious, so I've always engaged people, artists that I've met, and kind of gotten a lot of like personal information and inspiration from people. So really, that's my inspiration. And now with the formation of the nonprofit, my nonprofit, I can kind of give back to these young people and not so young people also. But I can kind of give back and be a mentor to those young artists as well. So it's kind of feel it's like a full circle. So, but that I think is the best part of the foundation, is kind of giving back. And then this house will remain as a legacy, for who knows? I mean, I say forever, but in our lifetimes, whatever forever can be, however long wood stays intact. I hope this house is here in 200 years. I'll be here for another 40 years, hopefully, at least. Then no negotiation will happen after that. So, but the idea is that this whole house and the concept and the collections and the fact that everything's going to be digitized at one time that'll be my legacy, as well as they'll be in the floor on display. So I make artwork. So I have my jewelry and my ceramic, my sculpture, and even the paintings. And I have a wonderful clientele that supports me that way. That is basically strictly what supports the whole compound, that and the tours, which I'll talk about in a second also. So in some way, I have hundreds and hundreds of benefactors. I reserve my energy for here because this is really my opus. So I've had pieces in exhibitions in galleries and a few museums over the years, but generally I don't pursue that because, like I said, my focus is really on my own institution, my museum, my gallery that's here. So I don't have that much sort of like out in the world, but certainly there's a lot happening on these, these few acres. But also I wanted to mention, so if anyone is interested in visiting, so I usually begin my visiting season right around May 1st. And if you go to the homepage, there's a book a tour, or will be a book a tour button. It's not there currently, but if you click that, it'll bring you to a booking app, and then it'll list the dates that I have opening. So generally there's 7 or 8 days every month from May through October. And it's done by like a time slot. There's like a time slot that I have also. And then I host private tours. People can request a private tour for groups of 10 or more. Yeah, thank you. No, it's always a pleasure. My house is my favorite subject to talk about. So thank you for letting me pontificate.